Now, while some parishes like Jefferson and Orleans already had mask mandates in place, this is very new for others like St. Tammany Parish. Erica Ferrando shows us how those on the North Shore are responding.
Band's Grocery in Mandeville just opened for the first time Monday.
First day of business today.
On the same day, the statewide mask mandate went into effect.
The strangest of times, believe me.
Now, owner Pat Gallagher has to make sure not only his employees are masked up, but his customers too.
They've all had one on.
He's seeing more people wearing masks across St. Tammany Parish now that it's required.
As of today, yes. Not so much earlier in the week.
In response to the mandate, the Mandeville Police Department posted on Facebook Monday morning.
Just letting everyone know that we are not the mask police.
They sympathized with the position business owners are in as they enforce the governor's order.
We're not going to come arrest that person for not wearing a mask. But if that customer is causing a problem after they're told to leave the business, worst case scenario, they can be arrested for remaining after being forbidden. But that is not what we want to do.
Chief Gerald Sticker is encouraging his community to comply.
And just remind them that this is not the business owner's fault. Be patient.
Over the weekend, Parish President Mike Cooper announced he was preparing an executive order regarding masks. Of course, this came at the same time Governor Edwards announced the statewide mandate.
With plans of issuing that mandate today.
Cooper recognizes that many are still opposed to the idea.
It's a small thing to ask.
And he's asking the parish for cooperation.
And I know enforcement is going to be difficult. Locally, it is the responsibility of the business owners to make sure that the orders are complied with.
I think everybody's going to be cooperative. I sure hope so.
Because Gallagher hopes his new business can thrive in the midst of this pandemic, masks and all. In St. Tammany Parish, Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News.
And businesses who do not enforce that mask mandate could be fined up to $500.